the last topic I want to hit is this idea of focus. So you've mentioned in a couple other interviews, and I know Alicia from Prelude. She was the former president at Johnson and Johnson, and you talked
Yep.
about how she really pushed you towards focusing on acne patches at the beginning, right? Versus saying like going into a bunch of different product categories. So,
Yep.
talk to me a little bit about kind of focus, right? Like, what are you focused on
hmm
now? And what have been some of the benefits that you've noticed from having both a really focused product strategy, but just generally being like intensely, to your point, saying no to a lot of things, intensely focused as a CEO?
Yeah, I mean, that was game-changing advice. So the background for that story is had launched Mighty Patch. It was doing really well. And then I wanted to do a different type of product, like a wash-off mask and some
Hmm.
other things, like creams and things. And then, yeah, Alicia at Prelude, I had a coffee meeting with her, showed her the product, told her, oh, I want to work on other products like these, like wash-off masks, etc. She said, no, do not do that. You should stick with patches to do them in every size, every shape, for every need. Just go deep down this patch category and own this category. And when I thought about it, I thought she's right. So we scrapped the plans for this, wash off mask and other formats, and we just stuck to patches. And I mean, it's just, it's such a good like analogy because I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and founders who it's really easy to get distracted in the beginning because like, okay, your product's doing well, and you got like this retailer who wants you and that retailer, and you have like, 5 to 10 other opportunities in front of you to expand your product line. But I think, yeah. So back to your question, like the focus is so critical because you don't have all the time in the world. You don't have the resources. You don't have the people, and it's so much better. And actually, my investor Trevor, he had made a really good quote, which is that do something on a small scale. Like for us, it was Amazon. So do something small on a small scale, uh, but something that's repeatable and scalable.
Hmm.
And so, for example, like we did one patch on Amazon, then we did more patches on Amazon. Then we took that same model to Target. So we started with one patch, and then we like did many other patches, and then we started adding other SKUs, and we just started kind of. It was like a rinse and repeat across other channels. And so I think having that kind of like that focus is critical because otherwise, I mean, it's just so easy to get distracted and to like do 1,000 things and do none of them well. And so definitely, I think having the ability to prioritize is a superpower as a founder.
It's one of the hardest things as an entrepreneur, right? Because, part of the reason you get into it is you want to do something new and better and you have an ideas and all these things. And to say like, no, 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 like I've got all these ideas, but this is all we're going to do, right? I mean, we cut out,
Takes a lot of discipline. Yeah.
it's really hard. And it's really hard to know like
Yeah.
where that line is. Because it's not,
Yeah.
it's not a clear red line.
Yeah.
We cut out about 50% of our revenue because we had kind of taken on too much, right? And we cut out about
hmm
50% of our revenue 3 years ago. And we're like,
Yeah.
hey, this revenue, really, really good. This other revenue, not so good, right? If you looked at the characteristics of it. And that was painful. I mean, we had been
Yeah.
doubling, 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 doubling. And then we said, hey, we're going to do this. And so then we were like flat for 2 years. And then over the last, call it 18 months to 2 years, we've been exploding. I mean, our gross margins went from 66 to 80%. Retention rates went from 90 to 115.
Oh my
NPS went from
gosh.
mid 20s to mid 60s. It was wild. Growth went through the roof.
Yeah.
And
It's
it was all a
amazing.
matter of just saying, like, hey, we know that we can service these types of customers really, really well. And although that seems small, so for us, it's brands with over 50,000 followers on Instagram. And so
hmm
we know that we can service those brands really, really well. And although that sounds like a small group of people, there are about 26,000 brands that fit that criteria just in our
hmm
kind of core categories. And so at the
Yeah.
time, we had a few hundred brands as clients. Like, we could get to 10x the size and have less than, 5%, 10% of the market, right? Like,
Yeah.
so anyways, it is my number one piece of advice to other entrepreneurs. for sure.
Yeah, and just like on that note, sometimes more is not better, right? So I
Yep.
was talking to this founder who has a lab and he works with a lot of beauty brands, and he was telling me he said I told my team to stop taking on new business. We're gonna focus on the ones that we have, and we're gonna build vertically rather than like across.
Hmm.
So he wanted to go deep and deeper with each client that he already had rather than like bringing on, I don't know, 20, 30 new clients.
Yep.
And then it was funny because I was talking to another sort of lab, and he told me we only have 10 clients at a time.
Wow.
And it doesn't mean that they only have 10 brands, because sometimes like one customer will have like multiple brands, but really disciplined about we only take on 10 clients, 10 customers, and we try to just maximize the hell out of that relationship. So yeah, I mean, I think kind of like what you guys did, sometimes more isn't always better. Sometimes it's better to go deeper.
100%. It's and then you also become kind of known for something, right? So for you guys, like you are known for being the acne patch brand. And like for most
Yeah.
people, they're trying to keep track of a lot of stuff all the time. And so for any single brand or concept, they usually have like a sentence, right? Or maybe even just a word. And so you have to think about what that sentence is, what is that word associated with your company, and like how can you just become known for that, right? Become the first thing
Yeah.
they think of when they think of that.